Hello and welcome to this very exciting Granny Square West project, where I will show you how to make these huge granny squares, how to connect them into one stylish piece. Let's go! For the materials, I am using a bunch of different yarns. For example, some cottons, as this drops Paris yarn. It's worsted Aran size. And of course some acrylics, different colors of it. Then I have this grassy, hairy yarn. I'm not sure what it's called, but you can use that as well. And of course, mix some mohairs and some fluffy yarns to give that cozy texture. This project is perfect to use any of leftover yarns you have. And of course, 5mm hook and some scissors. So choose your yarns that you could work with 5mm hook. And this is the squares we will be making. And the size of them is around 25 centimeters. So I will be making size medium to size large west. So let's start on making granny squares. So first of all, we're gonna do a slip knot. Just wrap around your fingers and pull a loop. Here we go. Now we're gonna put it on the hook. And we are prepared to crochet now. So we're gonna do chain of 4. So yarn over and pull a loop. Yarn over and pull a loop. As we have our chain ready, this will count as our first double crochet. Now we're gonna yarn over and begin doing double crochets in the first chain. Insert there, yarn over, pull a loop. Now we have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So here we have second double crochet. Now I'm gonna do one more in the same chain space. So the first cluster of double crochets is ready. Now we chain 1 and do 3 double crochets in the same stitch. So just yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And one more. Two clusters are done. Now we're gonna chain 1 and repeat 2 more times. 3 double crochets plus chain 1. As we have all 4 clusters done, now we're gonna connect. So I'm connecting with half double crochet. So I yarn over. And now I'm gonna insert the hook on the top of the chain 4, the initial chain 4. So just insert the hook there, grab a loop, and at this point we will change the color. So we're gonna do the invisible color change. So grab the new yarn, new color, and put it on the hook, leaving a little tail. And we're gonna finish the half double crochet with the new colored yarn. Go through all loops, pull the yarn a little bit to close the loops, and we have successfully changed the color. So from now on, with the new color, we're gonna chain 2. After the chain, we're gonna turn the project like that. And at this point, we will be making 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space below. And we're gonna hug those yarn tails together. We're gonna hide and secure those yarn tails at the same point. So let's do 2 more double crochets. The chain of 2 doesn't count as a double crochet, so we are doing 3 in total here. And keep in place with the left thumb those yarn tails. After making the first cluster of double crochets, we're gonna deal with those yarn tails, so we don't need to weave them in later. So we're gonna tie a pretty tight knot. Don't be afraid to pull, because we need that knot to hide under the double crochets. So pull it tightly. And now, as you can see, the knot is hiding under the double crochets. And just cut very close to the knot and just push slightly the stitches around, and the knot just keep hiding inside it. And we don't have, and it's basically invisible, we don't have knots hanging outside. So just keep going with doing 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space. After 3 double crochets, we are chaining 1 and continuing 3 double crochets in the same stitch, because we are making a corner of granny square. So the first full corner of the granny square is done. Now repeat the same for 2 more times. To form the last corner, we need to make the last cluster of 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space we did at the beginning of the round. And the last stitch of the round is chain 1. And again, we are preparing for the color change, so yarn over and insert the hook on top of the chain 2, right there. And here we're gonna grab the yarn, so we have 3 loops on the hook. Now we're gonna take the new color, I'm grabbing this baby pink one, put it on the hook and pull through all 3 loops to finish the half double crochet. So everything is the same as I showed you before, just one more time for you to make it easier. Now we're gonna chain 2 and turn the square. And now we'll do 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space below. And of course, hug those yarn ends together as you are doing the double crochets. After the first cluster, we're gonna deal with the yarn ends. So we're gonna make a few knots, 2 or 3, to secure and to hide it. Now cut it very close to the knot and wiggle those double crochets that the knot will slide into them. I love this technique because the color change is not visible from both sides, so it's perfect. So now we are skipping the chain 1 because it's not the corner, so we're gonna continue making just 3 double crochets in the next space between the clusters. For the corners, we are repeating the same. 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space, then we are chaining 1 and 3 double crochets more in the same space. So now you know the basics. Everything is repeating now. So you do as many rounds as you like. I did 8 rounds in total. It's important to finish nicely the granny square, so I will show you how I do it. So just leaving a long tail and cutting the yarn off. And as you can see, I didn't do any chain 1 as you're supposed to do for the corner, but we're gonna make a fake one. So I'm gonna now insert the hook in the chain 2, on top of chain 2, as you can see, in the top stitch. And I'm gonna grab the yarn and pull through that stitch. So this is step 1, and now we're gonna insert into half of the last stitch we just made and pull the yarn through there. So it will create a fake V, like chain stitch looking stitch. And yeah, I'm just quickly one more time will show you how I did the second step. So just insert in middle of the last stitch and pull the yarn through. And now just make a few knots and within the end. So I'm just gonna do this very fast forward. And this is how our square is looking at the moment. So we need just one more step. We're gonna close the middle. So now we're gonna pull very tight to close the hole in the middle. And I'm gonna use a darning needle for this one, but you can use, of course, crochet hook. It will work the same. So I'm just gonna threading the yarn through the needle, pulling it tightly to close the hole, and we'll do a knot immediately just to keep it in this position. And now I'm just gonna go through the middle of those first double crochets we made for the first round. Just wiggle that needle through them and pull it through. And keep it very tight and continue until you go all around the hole and making sure it's very tight. Repeating through a few more stitches and make a few knots more while you are doing this, just to be extra secure, and continue through some more stitches. I'm just going now in one way around, but you can obviously do a few stitches, then make a knot and go back in the opposite direction. After weaving in, just cut very close to the square and the square is done. So keep going until you have 8 of them. After you have your all 8 granny squares prepared, we're gonna start by connecting the front pieces together. So here's a little scheme how we're gonna do it. So the first number shows that we're gonna do the join as you go method, and I will show you just in a second. And the rest of the path we're gonna do by regular granny square stitch. Join as you go. This method is perfect for seamlessly joining granny squares. So we're gonna connect to our granny squares by one edge and then going around both of them. So prepare your 2 granny squares. Choose the best side of the granny square, which you like the most, and this will be your front side. And put the squares one on top of it. Now find the best corner from where you're gonna start joining. So any corner works, just which is a bit easier to find that chain 1 space. And insert your hook there, just through the 1 granny square. Prepare your yarn, which you're gonna use for joining, and attach to the granny square. I'm just starting by chaining 1 and pulling the tail very tight, and then chain 2 more. This will count as our first double crochet. Now just grab the second granny square and find the chain 1 space in the corner, and now prepare yarning over, and we're gonna insert the hook in that second granny square chain 1 space, and we're gonna do the double crochet. So just find the best angle for your yarn. As you can see, the way I am doing it, just make sure that you can yarn over easily. And we yarn over. I'm gonna pull a loop. We have 3 loops on the hook. And now yarn over again, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And here we have the first stitch of join as you go. We are joined by 2 double crochets. So again, I'm yarning over and inserting into the first granny square and making a double crochet. So just do as regular. And now yarn over, and we're gonna insert into the second granny square, into the same corner, of course, and we're gonna finish the double crochet like that. And one more, yarn over, insert into the first granny square and make 1 double crochet, yarn over, and insert into the second one and finish the double crochet. So here we have the first cluster of double crochets joined as you go method. So this is how it's looking. And now we're gonna continue by doing those double crochet clusters all the way for this edge. So I'm gonna yarn over and insert into the second space between the clusters of the first square, and gonna do the double crochet. Now yarn over and work into the second granny square, the equivalent space between the clusters. And just continue like this, doing like every second stitch in the same granny square. So just 1 into the first, and then the next always into the second granny square. And continue like this until you finish this edge. And we will meet at the end of the edge. I will show you how to do the corner of join as you go. So we have two clusters connected, and now just continue the same. Here we are at the end of the first edge, and now we need to do the last cluster in the corner. So again, 1 double crochet in the first, yarn over, 1 double crochet into the second granny square, yarn over, again into the first, into the second. So make half of the corner for each granny square. And now we are going to do chain of 1, and we'll continue to do the other half of the corner, but now just as a regular granny square round. We are not doing join as you go anymore. So we are reaching the second number of the scheme I just showed you before. So here we have, and now continue in the next cluster space. Easy as that. We're doing 3 double crochets in each cluster space all the way around. So now continue until you have all the other 3 edges done, and we will meet at the corner right there. So I just did the 3 edges, and now for the corner we're gonna do the same. So just finish the other half of it by doing 3 double crochets. We are going to chain 1, and with a slip stitch we're gonna find just the next stitch, the double crochet we did before, and connect with the slip stitch, just like that. And for the next corner we're gonna of course chain 1 again and continue doing 3 double crochets in the next one. The other corner connection is looking like this. So now just keep going with the regular granny square stitch around to finish it. To finish the first front part, we need to do the last half of the corner. So to do that, we are doing again the same 3 double crochets in the same stitch, in the same corner stitch. Of course, don't forget to chain 1 And we're gonna connect with the slip stitch. Just insert into the double crochet we have here and yarn over and pull through the loop. And now we are ready to cut off the yarn because we did the first part, and we're gonna weave in the end. Here is another scheme on how to connect granny squares for the back part. So we do as we did for the front twice to make 2 pairs of granny squares. And then we are connecting them as well with join as you go, but just on 2 edges now. And then going around with a regular granny square stitch. And this way we can connect 4 granny squares into one piece. So here I have my back already connected. So you know everything what you need to know for connecting the squares. And if you are confused about the middle of 4 squares, so just connect with the slip stitch and keep continuing doing join as you go. So for the further connection, I am turning the back side, bad side facing me, and then I am putting the front pieces on it. I want that chain after join as you go method would be facing me, and this is my good side. I am placing all of my waist parts together and preparing for the shoulder connection. For connecting the shoulders, we need to measure how much we need to connect on each of the shoulder and how much we will leave for the neck. So in this case, for the neck, I am leaving around 15-16 centimeters. So from the sides, I am counting 6 double crochet clusters from each side, and the middle is for the neck, so this will leave unconnected, and the shoulders, 6 clusters, we will connect. So here I am just counting again and marking the spot where I will stop connecting. So now I'm just grabbing some yarn piece and using it as a marker and doing on both sides. I will show you 2 different ways how to connect the shoulders. So the first one is a slip stitch connection. So grab your yarn and we will attach the yarn by going through both corners of both parts, just simply with a knot or just with the chain as I am doing. So make a chain of 1. And we will begin connecting both parts together. So just slip through 1 stitch of the front part and through 1 of the back part and just slip stitch. Now go on into the next one from front part and 1 from the back part. Just insert through both loops, grab the yarn and pull through all loops. And into the next one and connect like that until you reach the marker. So slip stitch all the way across the marked place. If you choose this method, of course, repeat for the second shoulder as well. For this second shoulder connection way, we are doing each part separate. So for example, first of all, I'm gonna work with the front part. So attach the yarn, attach however you like. I am doing again chain of 1. And pulling it tight to close and chain 2. And here we will be working in half double crochets. So just go all along in each of the stitch 1 half double crochet. Yarn over, insert into the stitch, yarn over, pull a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops. And continue until you reach the marker. And here we have the last stitch, just one half double crochet, and we are done for this part. So to take off the yarn, just chain one and cut it off. So now for the back part, we are doing the same. So I'm counting 6 double crochet clusters and marking the spot where I should finish the half double crochet. And the process is the same. We're gonna attach the yarn into the corner of the back part the same way, just chaining a few chains. Yarn over and start making one half double crochet in each of the stitch until you reach the marker. So here I just finished the back part and I cut the yarn, but I did a mistake. You can keep the yarn because we still need to go back, connecting two parts together, the front and the back. So you will need to attach the yarn again if you will cut it. If you're not, so you just keep going. So what I did here, I connected the two yarn ends by making a few knots, so it would be easier for me to work. So as I said, I am preparing to attach the yarn again. So I turn the project and immediately I am going through the first stitches with the hook. So inserting into the one and the opposite side, like that. And from here I will attach the yarn, but if you won't cut the yarn, so you immediately can go with the slip stitches. So I chain one, and now I'm gonna go into the next stitches. I'm gonna insert into the next through both loops and into the other part stitch and slip stitch, and go on into the next, and go with the slip stitch. So just continue like this until you reach the end of half double crochets. Using this second technique, we are giving for the vest a bit more length and a nicer rounded collar. So as I reach the end, I am chaining one and will cut the yarn. So this is how the shoulder connection is looking at the moment after the second technique. Now we need to cut the yarn and we are ready to weave in all the loose ends. So I am just grabbing a needle and will do it very fast forward. As usual, I am doing a couple of knots and then just going through a couple of stitches and then cutting off the yarn. And of course, don't forget to repeat the same connection process for the second shoulder. The last thing we should not forget is to connect sides. So here we have our side of the vest. So what I am recommending is to connect the length of one granny square. So I am connecting this part and leaving the other for my armhole. And for the sides, we are simply using slip stitch to connect. Here we have our shoulders already prepared and connected. Our sides are connected, so we finally have the armholes. We can slip our arms into it. So the very last step is how we're gonna close our vest, or do we want that it would close? So for the closing, we have two ways. We can use just simply a nice button. I don't have one. This is just an example. So we sew it onto the vest and simply slip through a double crochet cluster. And we keep it that way. Or the second one is more flattering. We're gonna do a simple bow. So just grab the yarn you already used, make a slip knot, and just simply chain at least 60 stitches or more. And this way we will create a very nice looking bow. So just in a second I will finish the chaining. And this is what we have. You can do it longer. You can go back with the single crochet and make it thicker, but I will leave it like that. And just cut off the yarn tails. And we have our chain, which we're gonna slip through both stitches, both sides of the stitches like that. And we're gonna simply make a knot, like a shoelace. We're gonna create a little bow. And here you have it, a very nice and cute detail out of the same yarn. And yeah, very girly, very cutesy, very nice. So choose your own way how to close your vest. And here you have it, a very nice and stylish piece to your winter wardrobe. Use different colors, different yarns to achieve different styles of it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next ones.